All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mr.Flatface, the man of many faces and even more opinions, and I always have an opinion when it comes to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 edition. And yes, I'm going to keep saying it that way because this is not my Modern Warfare 2. My first opinion in this video is that Farmhouse 18 is probably one of the only other good maps in this game other than Hydroelectric, if I'm honest. It just seems to flow better than the other maps, even though there are some crazy good camping spots in it that are pretty hard to uproot the camper from, but that's another video topic. This video is me, a casual player, throwing my hat and unsolicited opinion into the skill-based matchmaking debate, or Sbmm for short. Is it good? Is it bad? I can't say for sure. All I can do is give you my opinion, then have a conversation about it with you guys. And with at least having laid my foundation of where my side of the debate comes from. Now, I should first state, I'm a filthy Call of Duty casual. I've never competed for money in tournaments. I have never made money from any of the games. I'm just a guy who wants to get on with my friends at the end of the day and play a game with my friends and my family and just relax. Maybe do a bit of trash talk, get some wins, and definitely lose some games. But I'm here for the fun. Also, if I had to look at myself through a microscope to see my skill bracket, I would say that I am an above average player. Not great, but also not bad. Now, that is if you take Sbmm out of the equation, because solo gameplay is very much different than playing with an entire squad. It's so much different that with a group of players is not even funny. And that brings us to our first point. What is skill-based matchmaking, or Sbmm? Sbmm is a matchmaking process that groups players of similar skill level together in creating an online lobby, with the goal of creating a fairer and more balanced multiplayer experience. I laugh because that's what they intend to do. What it translates to is if you're a less skilled player, you go against other players that are not as good, aka noobs versus noobs. And if you are a good player, you'll be matched up against fellow good players, aka pros versus pros. These statements are mostly true when it comes to solo play, as that's when skill-based matchmaking will be the absolutely strictest and strongest. I guess if you are in a squad of all very similar skill levels, then you will have the same results as if you played solo. But for the sake of my standpoint, I will say my 6-man squad varies in skill level from relatively new to a seasoned player. Now, this sounds great on paper. Sbmm sounds fantastic on paper, but in reality, it's the opposite. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you are a 2 KD player, which I would say is well above average. That would mean that you'd be matched with players that are also roughly a 2 KD player, which would mean that your lobby is roughly a 2 KD lobby, plus or minus, let's say, 0.25 of a KD. Meaning your lobby will range from a 1.75 KD to a 2.25 KD, with very little variation. Remember, these are just examples, to put it into simple terms. That would make the game, on average, a 1 KD game for you and most of the players in that lobby. To put that in even simpler terms, that would mean that you would get a kill and then you would die, essentially trading kills until the score limit is met. This often makes games run out of time or will entice camping for score streaks and or a positive KD. This is because everyone in that lobby is the exact same skill level with very little variation. This will also make you feel like you're never progressing, never getting any better or enhancing your skills. And that's because everyone in the lobby is the exact same skill level and playstyle as you. To put it in perspective, World of Warcraft came out with level scaling. So if you were a level 1 and you just started World of Warcraft, you're going to fight a level 1 wolf right away. And then you're going to come back at max level, you're going to fight that same wolf, but instead of that wolf being level 1, it's going to be max level. Whatever that is in World of Warcraft. I think it's 80. That means that level 1 fight you had with that wolf is going to feel very, very similar to that level 180 fight you're having with that wolf now. Why? Because what happened then at level 1 is now happening at level 80. It's just the thing that you're fighting is the exact same as it was then. It's a very complicated way of saying it got as strong as you throughout the entire game. Meaning you never feel any stronger if the level 1 wolf you fight at the beginning of the game is the same exact struggle it is now at level 80. It's going to be hard for you to feel like you're improving in skills and getting better when every single person in the lobby is also the exact same as you. When the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out, there was no Sbmm, and there was matches where you may destroy the lobbies, but then there was other matches where you got destroyed. This made for very dynamic games and the feeling of excitement and pressure in every single match. A kill streak could turn the tides of the battle. Popping off, as it was called, could change the tide of the battle. I saw games go from, 20 kills down to all of a sudden they win. There was nothing like clutching a victory out of the hands of the enemy just by simply doing better. You could get that feeling of feeling like you are single-handedly turning the tides of battles when you popped off. There was none of this protect the little guy. It was either get good or move on, scrub. This may sound harsh, but it enticed you to get better. You may have gotten destroyed by a guy on the other team with 17 X's in his name and no scope somewhere in there because he ran around with the Kimbo 1887s. Were you mad? Hell yes, you were mad. This made you get the Kimbo 1887s yourself and then do the same to the enemy team. And when I tell you there was no better feeling than destroying a lobby with the thing that destroyed you before, I mean it. There's none of that in these later iterations of COD. For me, that feeling of excitement and pressure and that feeling of progressing through the different skill levels has died in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, where I personally believe that skill-based matchmaking was the absolute strictest. Advanced Warfare was the first Call of Duty where I stopped playing it for the year-long game cycle. Then that was when I first started playing Battlefield. Why? Because I felt like I could do something in Battlefield. I couldn't do anything in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This was the same time where I started playing into more role-playing games, which are featured on the channel here. Because COD, the game I'd loved, had now become a game that I hated. And it was because I never felt like I was ever going to be good. Not in a complaining, mopey sort of way. It was just, I would do good in a lobby, but so did everybody else. I might be top of the team, but I was only separated from second, third, and fourth by 1 or 2 kills. The progression died with Advanced Warfare, and that was also around the same time that meta-gun playstyle and having to min-max your guns, attachments, and their playstyle really came to the forefront of Call of Duty. But that's another video. This Sbmm meta has caused normal players, casual players like you and me, to start min-maxing guns to compete, and when that does not work, we resort to camping and not moving to get kills. For any of you that are going to argue that camping is fun and it's the best way to play, I bet most people that sit in the corner don't want to be doing that. They would rather be running around and getting those exciting clips for TikTok and YouTube, and feeling like, for lack of a better word, a badass. But sadly, moving in these Call of Duties now terrifies them. With the Sbmm being so absolutely strict, moving is most definitely a death sentence in these games. To move is to die. Granted, there's exceptions to every rule, and if you're that player that can run around the map and absolutely pop off, then I'm glad for you. But most likely you're playing out of your skill bracket. These people camp rather than move because they want to feel that feeling of excitement of going really positive, getting that high KD game for themselves. They also want to feel that excitement you get when you get a kill streak, and to feel the rush of seeing their name come across the screen saying that their name, the name that they created to be their online identity, is now on a 5-player kill streak, or that they have called in a chopper gunner. There is no better feeling than the lobby knowing that you are popping off. It's exciting, but sadly these moments are far and few between when it comes to the Sbmm and the lobbies that are currently in today's CODs. You might get that feeling maybe once a night, rather than once every couple games. To put this in perspective, my son plays Call of Duty, and he is nowhere near my skill level yet, but one day he will pass me, I do know this. But when I watch him, there is literally no difference between his lobby and my lobby. His lobbies are filled with campers, quickscopers, rushers, knifers, and riot shield users, just as mine are. Other than the pace in which they move and aim and shoot, there is no difference between the way his matches finishes or the way my matches finishes. What I mean by that is his scoreboard will look very similar to mine, with very little differences. Now, when I play with him and Sbmm has to average out my KD and his KD and our skill levels, we both tend to have more fun. I'm playing in a more casual lobby, and he's playing in a more experienced lobby. He loves getting kills on players that are clearly better than him, and I enjoy watching him grow as a player. Think of it like passing the torch. He is now getting to experience a more traditional progression through Call of Duty, more of what I experienced getting through Call of Duty. He gets destroyed by a guy with a riot shield. What's his first instinct? He goes and gets a riot shield and tries it out the next game, just like I did. He sees a guy using a shotgun. He goes and uses the shotgun. He's learning from other players in the game without ever actually sitting down and having to play with them or talk to them. He watches what they're doing and tries to mimic what they're doing, rather than sitting in a curated lobby where everyone's doing the same thing. He's not getting a curated experience to keep him engaged in the cash up. I mean, engaged in the games. He's getting to experience the game for what it is, a game. For any casual that says they enjoy skill-based matchmaking because it makes the matches more casual is absolutely 100% lying to you. They love it when they get the crap on the other team and make the other team mad. And that will only happen when you're playing outside of your skill bracket. And that happens rarely. This works in reverse for the pros as well. They complain because every match is sweaty and stressful, just like our matches, but they want to crap on the other team just like we want to crap on the other team. Once again, that will only happen if the pros play out of the skill bracket. They want what we want. We're just mad at them because they make money off the game, so they're not allowed to want what we want. But what both sides want to be able to do is have fun. And with this current Sbmm, that's not possible. On your own, you have to either reverse boost or play with a squad of people in order to have a balanced Sbmm and a more casual experience. Now, I was always taught never offer a complaint or a criticism without offering a solution. So the solution here for me is simple. It's make a ranked mode where players who want to grind through the ranks and become the best players in the world can go and get rewarded for doing so. Great games out there have a ranked mode. Apex is one of them. It's the closest to an FPS that we have to compare to. If there was a reward for grinding out these sweaty lobbies, then a lot more players wouldn't have an issue with these sweaty lobbies. And I'm not talking a double XP token. Players want that rank, that stigma that comes with being the best. Back in my day in Modern Warfare 2, when you saw somebody with a certain calling card, that meant that they were freaking insane. If they had that nuclear calling card, that meant that they dropped 25 kills without dying and killed the entire lobby. So you knew that that guy was good. That's all they have to do, is make a ranked mode where players can have something beside their name that shows that they're skilled, that they are better. We just want to feel like we're good. We don't want to feel like we're not progressing. We want to feel like we're good, we're getting better, and that we're earning something. To take this not from an FPS, but go to some other game that I played ranked, and I actually did do the entire ranking system and got from the very beginning. I started in silver. I never started in bronze, and I worked my way up to the top, which was Rocket League. I went from silver to grand champion, all by working through the rank system, by watching videos and getting better and better, and every time. And when I hit that top time, I was so excited. I was so happy. There's none of that in this game. There's no progression like that. I go 30-9 one game, the next game I go 9-30. So the simple solution here is enter a ranked mode. Then have a casual mode for the casual players to play with much more forgiving matchmaking and Sbmm formula. You may have noticed that I said they should keep Sbmm in the casual, but relax it. This is because I think Sbmm has a place in COD. Putting me in my son's lobbies would be an absolute human rights violation and or maybe a war crime. There is no place for me in a noob lobby. Would it be fun? Yes, but it would also get boring after a while because there would be no challenge. There would also be no progression. Everything I'm saying works in reverse. Me crapping on a noob lobby is not going to be fun after a while because I'm just crapping on a noob lobby. But me going against pros is also not going to be fun because there's no way I'm going to compete. There is a place for Sbmm. Sbmm is great for new players like my son who are coming into the franchise for the first time, or maybe an older player who doesn't have the reaction time they used to, or the vision. But for the vast majority of the Call of Duty community, from noob to average to then pro, Sbmm hurts our experience more than it enhances it, simply because it's way too strict. I hope this clears up my opinion on skill-based matchmaking. I just wanted to throw my hat into the ring. I've been asked a few times what I think about, skill-based matchmaking in the comments of videos here on YouTube or over on TikTok. And I always give the simple answer. Skill-based matchmaking has a place, but it's too strict in its current state. And I believe that. Sbmm should be in a game to enhance the player's experience on both ends of the spectrum, the beginning and the end. But the middle should be kind of left to kind of experience a more natural state of the game. Never going to get better if every single person in the lobby is the same exact skill as you. Think of it like an echo chamber of skill. Well, that's my opinion. Agree or disagree, I'm entitled to it and you're entitled to yours. And I hope to hear what that is. I have been your host, Mr. Flatface, the man of many faces and need more opinions, and I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing. Also, what's your opinion on Sbmm? Let's have a talk down in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, have a great day. Later, guys.